Hello. Today I'm going to talk to you, as he said, about railsadmin. But first, a little about me. I'm a student from Romania. I'm a developer for Monjotech. I've been a student in the Ruby Summer of Code of 2010. And the railsadmin is my project for the Ruby Summer of Code. If you have any questions, feel free to ask at the end of my presentation. And you can find me, of course, on Twitter at Hurricane with an I. What is data administration? Every web developer, sometimes in the past, when he wrote his first web app, thought about how to do data administration, how to manage and control his data. So data administration differs from web app to web app, but in the way you organize your data is, and you control the data is the way you do data administration. So you organize your data, that's the logic of your application, and the way you control it, that is the data administration. So usually you do this via an admin panel. So there are a lot of types of admin panels out there. You can do data administration in all sorts of ways. But how to do it in a secure and a fast way? Usually, many people write their own admin panels. So this is a little error-prone because you have to test it very well. It's definitely not fast because you have to waste a lot of time. And it's not always very, very simple. Other people use CMSs. So this is usually fast. This is usually not fast because you have to learn how the CMS works and everything. But it's usually secure, but it's not, and it's flexible somehow. Also, the Rails way of doing it is using a plugin, or now in Rails 3 an engine. And this is all of 3. So it's secure because you know the plugin that it's very well written or it has a lot of tests running on it. So it's secure. It's fast because you just plug in the engine and it works. And it's also very, very simple. So introducing the railsadmin, you can find the code on GitHub at that address. As I said, it's a Ruby Summer of Code 2010 project. My main mentor was Eric Michael Albert. So it was a very, very nice collaboration between us. Also, a lot of important people from the Ruby on Rails community contributed to this project as mentoring and everything, like Yehuda Katz and all the people mentioned. The history of the railsadmin is that Eric coded the MERB admin, that is a port of the well-known Django admin, and I had to port the MERB admin to Rails 3. So the railsadmin is in fact a Rails engine. That is a feature introduced in Rails 2 and continued to Rails 3. So you have basic Ruby on Rails application, and you can run that application in a different Ruby on Rails application, just structuring your code a little different. So you have you keep your main logic with controllers, modals, and views, and you just namespace your application, and through magic everything works. So it's very, very simple to write an engine. So this is a controller that is just namespace and it works. Also, you can do that with the module also. And that's the basic of Rails engines. Also, the routes, that is a pretty important thing in Rails. You can also do this in your app, and everything works out of magic. So it's very nice to write Rails engine. So railsadmin does the CRUD thing very, very well. It does automatic form validation. Of course, you want to have your data protected by some sort of authentication. So we use device. You can do column search, history. It's a pretty full option admin panel. So how do you install it? You just write in your gem file 2 lines of code. You run a bundle update, and after that you just another line of generators, and that's it. Your admin is plugged into your Rails app. Also, an important feature that is going to be available in Rails 3.1 is mountable apps. So I have my Rails engine that is not installed via gem, and I only say mount an application, and it all works. Okay, so I'm going to do a short demo to show you how the Rails admin works. Okay, so this is my typical web application, and I have put the I don't know if it's very nice to see, but okay. Sorry. Okay. And if we do, okay, perfect. So you just put these 2 lines of code, and everything works, and you run the basic installation. So you start the web server, and it works. In fact, sorry, that's there because it's a basic Rails application, does not have the basic path set out. So you run this. If you have a clean web application installed, you have the Rails admin ask you for a username and password that is done via device. And this is how the admin panel looks like. I have a simple posts model, and I can view multiple columns. I can edit different entry. I can create a new one. Also, it maps validations. So if you have one-to-many or many-to-many associations, does that. You can put in, let's say we do a quick model. Let's present of title, I think. So I put a validation there, and I hope that okay. So if I do this, it says it could not update the post because it has a blank title. So this is the basic Rails admin. Also, you can do searches. You can select different entries to delete, and you have a history that is row-based. So every modification to your table is mapped to the history table. So this is the basics of the Rails admin. Okay. So we're going to launch the Rails admin 1.0 in a few weeks. That's the main milestone for the Rails admin. But if you pull the code from the Git repository, it's production ready. We have a lot of tests written, so you can run those tests and see that everything passes. Also, since I've stopped working on the Ruby Summer of Code in September, we have now 1,200 watchers on GitHub. It has been translated into 12 languages, and configuration DSL has been written by the community. So a lot of people contribute to our application, and this is a sample of the configuration DSL. If you want to hide a modal in your application, you just do this, and the modal disappears. Okay, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask. There is a lot of debate on our issue tracker on GitHub because people don't want railsadmin to use device because it's normal in some way because every web developer wants to write his own authentication scheme. So it's not very used device by the community, but we use it, and the project as the railsadmin has starting to have a lot of users. Permissions, we haven't set up some sort of permission framework for the application, so the user has just one the plugin has one super user that does everything. The configuration is being done through the DSL. Any questions? Please.
I just want to know if you will support for the version 1.0.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Will you support for the version 1.0 the polymorphic associations?
No. Okay, so he asked that for the Rails 1.0 we support polymorphic associations. That's right? Okay, for the moment, no. But if you really need the polymorphic associations, you're free to pull a request on Git and do that yourself. And we have a lot of contributors that are going to accept your patch as quickly as we can. So we have now 7 months since we started the project. We're pretty young, and we accept as many contributors as we can. Another question? No? Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.